Hi, I'm Nathan from TrueFire, and it's time for another episode of Licks We Love. Each week, we'll feature a set of must-see licks video lessons across various genres and skill levels. The tab notation and jam tracks are all available for free at TrueFire via the links in the description. Ready to get started? This episode is all about rock. Grab your guitar and let's dig in. Our first lick is called Vai-ing My Time, from Jeff Beasley's 50 speed-picking guitar licks you must know.
Lick 18, Vai-ing My Time. I'll never forget the first time I heard Steve Vai do this sweep. It was just incredible. One of those things, when I initially heard it, I was like, okay, what was that? Once I figured out what it was, I've been playing this lick quite a bit since then. I love it. It's Vai-ing My Time, number 18. Let's give it a try. Okay, this lick, Vai-ing My Time. This lick reminds me so much of Steve Vai, and it was a little bit difficult for me to get a handle on this lick. It's really good for developing your sweep picking technique here, and it shifts positions. It's got a glissando in it. It really makes you stretch out. And it's one of those things when you hear it, it was for me when I heard Mr. Vai do it, I was like, okay, what did you just do? Wow, what was that? Almost like a video game type of an effect. It's a lot of fifths going on in this lick. Let me show you slowly what I'm doing here. I'm in the key of C. I'm going to play the root C, the fifth, the 9, jump up here to G, which is the fifth again, C the root, G the fifth. I'll slide up a whole step here. And I'll do basically backtrack. So I'll do everything that I did in C here. And I'll slide up here from this G the fifth, basically up into an A there, the key, which is the fifth of D. And I'll do the same thing and just go backwards. So it's slide backwards there on the lowest note. It's one of those things that, and I keep saying this, but I love doing this. It's one of those things that's an attention getter. It grabs the listener's attention. Other players too wonder, okay, what did you just do? What was that? Because it has an ethereal type of a sound just because it's so full of fifths. Fifths have that kind of a tonality to it. It's really good to develop your sweep picking technique as well. Let me play it again for you slow. That would go great over a major chord, a minor chord. It's so ethereal, you could do just about almost anything underneath that chord. It's in the key of C there. So, yeah, major, minor, any of those things would work pretty well over the top of that.
Our next lick is called Multiplicity, from Neil Zaza's 50 melodic rock licks you must know.
Lick 13 is called Multiplicity. Sliding into notes is another great way to add a vocal-like quality to your solos. All right, this lick is all about fitting a melodic theme over a melodic backing. We're gonna have a lot of fun with this one because there's a lot of different guitar techniques that I use in this theme. Some double stops, some hybrid picking, some sliding. So let's just get right to it. Just so you know, the backing of this it's going to sound something like this. So I find that worth mentioning just because we have to get around that. We don't want to step on what the rhythm's doing. We want to augment it, want to fit in really nicely. So here's what I have. Since it's in B major, I'm starting out with a nice B double stop. And all I'm doing is kind of going up B, B sus4, and I just keep adding chord tones in. Okay. Now I'm going to shift from this B position to this B position. So instead of actually doing a double stop where the notes are on adjacent strings, I'm actually going to do in thirds. As soon as I bring in this third B, you're going to notice on my right hand, pick and second finger. And this is a cool little lick in itself. So you have, and when you stretch this double stop, it's cool because this one goes up a half step, and this one goes up a full step. So it's a little pedal steel harmony trick. Now, this next section is kind of cool because it incorporates a slide. And all I'm doing is from an indefinite point, it's kind of zinging it in there. Back to that third double stop. And what I'll do is I'll do a little pick rake into that E flat. Kind of gives it a little bit more projection. So this one's full of techniques. We have double stops. We have the thirds double stop. We have the little pedal steel lick. We have the little slide. Some pick rake. And we can't forget the most important spice of all guitar playing, which is vibrato. So here it is, full speed. And here's a slow version. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Our next lick is called Sliding Ascent, from Angus Clark's 50 Radio Rock Licks You Must Know.
Lick number 1 is called Sliding Ascent. In this lick, you'll be working on how to use the major pentatonic scale as a melodic device. You're going to be playing it really smooth using slides and hammer-ons in order to get all the way through the scale and up to cap it off with a lick that's right out of the Steve Lukather playbook. It puts a real nice ending on it so that we go from playing what would ordinarily just be a scale to a complete melodic idea. Check it out. So on this lick, the first half is really just an ascending major pentatonic scale, But what's interesting about it is how I'm sliding between positions and using hammer-ons and slides to create a really smooth effect. The first 3 notes are done with a hammer and a slide. Second 3 with a hammer. The next 3 with a slide. And the next 3 with a hammer. So you put that together and you get... Then the last part of the lick is done, is really a lick in its own right. It's very Steve Lukather inspired, you might say. And a couple of things to notice are that you'll hear me rake across the strings, getting into the bend. It's something I do force a habit at this point in my playing. When I go for a bend, very often I rake across the strings, getting into it. It gives a dramatic effect. The principle with this lick is that you bend and then you fret while you maintain the bend, release it, and then release the bend. So you get a... So if we put all those parts together, let's just hear it slow. The first part is all triplets. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Our fourth lick is called D minor Touch of Blue, from Soapy Lloyd's Bulletproof Rock Guitar Licks Edition.
For this lick, we are in the D minor pentatonic. We're in the first position to start with, moving up into the second position to finish. And we're also going to be utilising that flat 5 or the blues note a little bit. This is in a solo on one of the new songs on my upcoming album, so let's have a listen. This lick is in the D minor pentatonic, and that is starting here on the 10th fret. And this lick actually just starts with a little pickup before the first beat, and that is just a hammer-on from the 10th to the 12th fret on the A string, and then like a double stop on the 10th fret from the on the D and the G strings. Just like that. And then on the first beat of the bar, the lick kind of starts. We've got a hammer on and pull off like a little trill from the 10th to the 12th fret on the D string, to the 12th fret on the A string, to the 10th fret on the D string, just like that. And then we've got this, which is where we get that flat 5 in there a little bit as a little passing note. So we're going to the 12th fret on the G string and then sliding up to the 13th fret, which is the flat 5, and then sliding back down, pulling off to the 10th fret, and hitting the 12th fret on the D string. So far. Now we are sort of climbing up into the second position of the minor pentatonic. So we are going from the 10th fret on the G string to the 12th fret with a hammer on, and then we're sliding up to the 14th fret, hitting the 13th fret of the B string, and then sliding up to the 15th fret, and back to the 13th and back to the 15th. Just like that. So far, this is what we've got. And then we're doing a little double stop bend from the 16th fret of the B string with our third finger there and our index finger on the 13th fret of the high E string. And what we're doing there is we are picking both strings and then picking just the high E string. We want to pick that high E string with an upstroke, doing that twice, and then going to the 15th fret of the high E string for a bend, pulling off to the 13th fret, going to the 15th fret of the B string, pulling off to the 13th fret of the B string, and finishing the lick off with that 15th fret on the B string with a little vibrato there. So that section from that double stop bend is this. Now I will play the whole thing slowly. And up to speed. So yeah, remember there's that little pickup at the beginning, and you'll be good to add this to your playing.
The final lick in this episode is called Purple Maze, from Jennifer Batten's 50 Ultra Intervallic Guitar Licks You Must Know.
Lick number 46 is called Purple Maze because it reminds me of Hendrix. He's kind of synonymous with the E7 sharp 9 or any 7 sharp 9 chord. Kind of stands out as that era. And I'm combining a couple different scales, doing a E minor pentatonic as well as an E mixolydian in this one. I do some perfect fourth intervals and then land on the sharp 9. So play an E7 sharp 9 when you hear this, and it will make a lot of sense to you when you hear that tension. So use it whenever you hear or whenever you read an E7 sharp 9 on a chart, or if you want to just add tension to any E7 chord. This one is designed for the Hendrix chord, the E7 sharp 9. And a dominant chord, in theory, has the first, the major third, the 5, and the flat 7. Then you add the sharp 9, and that's going to be a G note. So I start out, I'm kind of mixing up a minor and major, because the sharp 9, the G, according to E, would be a minor note, a minor third. So I'm using the minor third and the major third. Doing a couple fourth intervals. Going minor to major again. Then doing fourth intervals in the E mixolydian scale. And then I end on that sharp 9. And I start on an upbeat, I start on an upstroke as well. And when I slide, I'm not picking there. Another upstroke there. No pick when I hammer as well. Then it's all alternate pick. Except for that last half step bend. Nasty.
And that does it for this week's Licks We Love. I hope you enjoyed the free lessons, and be sure to subscribe and tune in next week for even more. Don't forget to hit the links in the description to pick up the tab and notation, and if you haven't already, just a quick reminder that you can join TrueFire for free and get a 14-day free trial of All Access. No credit card required and no strings attached. Come ignite your playing with TrueFire. Practice smart, play hard.